Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus arcade video. What we're going to be playing here, as you can see, is the King of Route 66 on my Sega Naomi 2. I have my Mad Catz MC2 Xbox 360 racing wheel, and here is the menu here. There's nothing too exciting here. And of course I just move it with my, I think it's right shoulder, yeah, right shoulder button, and the Xbox button acts as the test button. But there's nothing too exciting in the test mode for this game. And this is going to be a decently long gameplay because I go through the first area of the game. Because I figured, might as well make it a bit fun. Your input test, of course, just shows, yeah, I can move the steering wheel, I can hit the brakes and the gas, and I can do the shifters. And then the X and the A buttons on my controller are the horn and the wiper. And then down in the middle of the control pad is view change, which you'll see early in the gameplay. I do that because it's a lot easier just playing the game from the behind the truck view. When I first tried to play this game, I actually did the in the truck view, and honestly, that just makes this game a lot harder than it needs to be. For the game to actually work for OpenJVS, you need to turn off motor power, make it to no use. Also change off CB mic because it'll say no use because you don't have a microphone unless you somehow hook one up. But that's all. I just set everything to normal. And then we just get out of here. And then we're going to get right into some of the King of Route 66 on the Naomi 2, running on the real hardware using our JVS arcade cabinet. So let's take a look and see what this is like. Okay, and as you get in the game, it's like doing all the behind-the-scenes things. That's why you're not seeing anything on the screen right now. It's basically loading the game files. Now you're seeing here it's loading the sound data pack presented by Sega and created by AM2. And now I had uploaded the intros in a different video, so you'll be able to see those way back when, but it's all in my playlist and everything. I just chose Texas Hawk here because he's like the default guy. And then you get to choose the easy area or the normal area. I chose the easy area, and it gives you a few tips here on how to use your nitro, your radio transmission, which on my steering wheel it was the two top buttons, yes and no, and here's a little cutscene.
Hey, we're regulars. We ought to be eating for free.
Don't want no trouble.
Why you gotta be so ornery?
You're gonna pay for that remark, old man.
Not them again. This is Noisy Duck. Somebody stop them tornadoes.
And now the more I see cutscenes with this old man and these tornado boys, I swear he's like following them and making it look like they're actually causing him issues, because it seems like wherever he goes they are. Maybe he gets there first and is like, oh, I'm gonna make it look like I have a problem with them, but they're really like good guys or something. You never know. Because like in the one scene later you'll see in this video, he's at a gas station and he actually sees them again. He's like, oh no, not them again. And I'm thinking, but you're just going the same places as them. It doesn't seem like they're actually following you. Maybe he's like a sociopath and he just wants to ruin their lives or something. But it's just kind of one of those things I kept thinking to myself, it doesn't seem like these guys are legitimately following this guy. He's just going where they go. But enough of my conspiracy theory of the old man causing problems with the tornado boys. But The King of Route 66 is basically a driving arcade game that was released in the year of 2003 in the US, March 17th of 2003, and February of 2002 in Japan. And the funny part is here, I actually had this game set to Japan, but it makes no difference because it looks like everything's in English. The only actual version of this that got released on consoles was the PlayStation 2 version, which got released on March 18th of 2003 and September 5th of 2003. Those would be your North American and European dates respectively. Although apparently I don't see a Japanese release date, so maybe this game was not released in Japan. Although, for some reason, one of the things lists other platforms, but from what I see, it only came out on PlayStation 2. But yeah, you get all choices of different holes you want to do. The harder or heavier, the more money you get. And now this hitching the trailer part, there are a few times in this gameplay where you'll see me do it right and I'll actually get an extra nitro, but a few times like this one, I did it very wrong and I lost $3,000. But basically what you have to do is you have to brake and get the trailer lined up just right so it hitches the the truck cab so it hitches the trailer, and then yeah, your truck can then pull the trailer and you have no problem. And that's where I was talking to you about the radio. You hit the yes to accept, and usually what it comes down to is it'll be another trucker who will join you, and if you do it successfully, you get like a convoy combo, and that gives you like extra points and everything, and it helps in the long run. So accepting them is usually good, saying no is usually not good, but you know, it's kind of one of those things that's neither here nor there. If you accept them joining you, it helps. If you don't, it's one of those things, it's not like it hurts you or anything. But yeah, the King of Route 66 is kind of one of those games, I have to say right now, it is a different than most driving games, because like its prequel, 18-wheeler Pro American Trucker, you're not racing like in a traditional race game like you would in just about any other game. But in this one, you are trying to get your truck to the various places you need to in order to get your load. And then you need to get the load to the various places without damaging the load too much, and therefore you'll get all of your money. And now when I had initially played this way back when I first made those intro videos, I'd used the inside the truck camera, and for some reason, no matter how hard I tried, I was bad at that. So when I did the outside the truck camera like you see here, I did a lot better, and legitimately no problems playing this game anymore. And now that's one where I actually did it right, and you see I got the free nitro. Because basically that's what's going to happen in this game. If you hitch to the trailer right, you'll get the free nitro. If you don't, you will end up losing money on your load. Because normally if you got $10,000, you'll get $8,000 or $7,000 depending on how much you damage the trailer by hitting your truck cab into it. But it's definitely a unique racing game. And you'll see there I actually said yes, because I think the first time I did this, I was legitimately not sure what button did what, and I actually just said no by accident. But what was funny is when I first started playing this game, I just ended up not getting to the actual goal on like maybe the first or second course here, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get a decent gameplay going. But as far as this game goes, from what I've seen right now, it only was released on PlayStation 2. Maybe they planned different console versions, but there was never another console that you got this game on. And here's our next little cutscene.
Hey, you! Get out of my way. I'm in a hurry.
Excuse me, do you? You and hey, you're the ones who.
You just never learn, do you, Gramps?
Ooh. This is Noisy Duck. I just got whipped again.
Now that's why I was kind of thinking that the old man is kind of stalking the Tornado Boys, because it seems like he just happens to walk into every place that they are, and after a while it's like one time maybe, 2 times perhaps, 3 times he's kind of following them at this point. That's kind of my theory about this game, is that the old man is just trying to cause the Tornado Boys trouble, and he's just following them, because that's what it seems like. But since this game runs on Sega's Naomi 2 hardware, it has a lot more graphic fidelity than like original Naomi game, and that's really good for all the foliage and everything. You'll see some of the trees pop in now and then because, you know, it's early 2000s video game hardware, so what can you really expect? Because you can't get that much graphics from something like this. And I was thinking when I saw that you could definitely pop out of the road here, and I was absolutely right for once. There's a couple of losses I get in this game where I think something like that is true, but it's not. And then I ended up just crashing into the wall. I might actually just make a compilation after this of my worst losses and like weird stuff that happened. Like for instance, I'll make mention again when I see the part where it happens, but there's a place where you have to legitimately do a jump, and I don't think it's possible where you can actually get through without doing the jump, because when I didn't realize it, the truck just kind of goes into this little area where you're supposed to jump over, and it just kind of like glitches in the area between the jump and where you're supposed to end up. And I'm thinking, was I supposed to only jump here and there's no way to do it otherwise? But the truck legitimately got stuck, and it just like kept over revving, just sitting there. I'll have to definitely show that in another video at some point. But as you can see, with all of these runs, I actually chose the easy option because I figured I just want to have a decent gameplay to kind of show you what this game looks like running on its original hardware. I'm not trying to show off. And that was another one where I didn't quite do the hit your trailer thing right. I think there's like at least 2 of them where I do it right and I get the nitro, as you saw that one earlier, and then there's one a little bit later. And I definitely have to say, the areas in this game look really nice, and they have a really good look to the actual, how do I want to call it, the actual scenes and the actual stages of the game. Now, the one website here, the way they describe this game is battle with the evil Tornado Corporation and their army of goons while you try to win the hearts of the beautiful queens of the road. In one of 5 18-wheel trucks, you'll travel across the United States in an effort to deliver cargo in the shortest amount of time. Your rivals, however, will stop at nothing to keep you from your goal, so you must see the fastest routes and the best truck upgrades to become king of the road. Now, I didn't really do much of the rival stuff, like I didn't try to hit the other guys too much, but I would figure if you did that, you might get like bonuses and it might help. But I kind of like stayed away from my rivals and didn't really try to go nuts trying to get under their skin. But yeah, there's some tornadoes here. I don't know if you can actually get hit by the tornadoes, if they're just for show and they just go away every time and they make the air look foggy, but you never know, maybe they possibly could. That was another place where I should have gone, but I didn't, because I kind of missed it, because I was too mystified by those tornadoes. But I ended up making it to the goal anyway, and the only problem with this game is, like a lot of games, your time adds up. So if you did bad in this stage, you might have less time next time, and therefore you'll lose, and you'll have to use a coin. Now, I edited this in such a way that you really can't see when I lost, so I think this ended up being I actually was short on that, and then I had to go a little bit more, and then I messed it up. But this would have ended up being like an hour of gameplay with all my losses, but it ends up being about 25 minutes of gameplay, so you can kind of figure out how many times I lost there. Especially on the final stage, I lost so many times. I was just so glad to finally get through it and be able to show you what this game truly looks like, because, yeah. It wouldn't have been fun if the gameplay was just basically me losing and losing and losing and getting to a game over. I figured I wanted a decent get through at least one stage or whatever they did in this, and I figured it out as I went that there was the whole route through the United States in the easy stage that I chose in the beginning. You'll at least get to see that here. If I ever pick this game up again and I like, as the kids would say today, get good, I might actually try the harder, like the quote-unquote normal, and see what that's like. But for now, this will kind of just be my gameplay to show you what we have here. It might be another... Yeah, here's another cutscene where our friend gets stalked by the Tornado Boys, quote-unquote.
Okay, old man.
This ain't no joke! No! You gonna pay for this here?
Calling all trucks. Somebody's gotta stop those tornadoes now.
Oh, okay, and then that's the end of that cutscene is one of your quote-unquote allied truckers is saying, yeah, we got to get those Tornado Boys or they're going to wreak havoc on this whole place. But, you know, same old schlock here. It's a basic story, but I still say my theory is that the old man is, and that was another one of those ramps that I legitimately missed. That would have got me right to the goal, but I ended up somehow getting to the goal anyway. But as I said, you end up not having enough time for the next one because that 3 seconds gets added to whatever I have the next time, and I ended up having to continue because if you look very carefully as the next run comes along, now it's 48 seconds, so I continued because when you continue, it gives you a few more seconds each time, and that gives you a bit of an advantage. So you're actually able to do it, and it gives you incentive to, how do I call it, continue each time because they give you more time. And you can definitely see some of the effects of the Naomi 2 here in full effect. And here's that place where you had to make that jump, and if you didn't, it would just simply, you would just simply fall off of the jump, and then the truck would just like crazy glitch in the bottom there. I'll definitely have to include that footage in a compilation of like my worst mess ups in the game, because I did have quite a few mess ups when I was playing this game. Hopefully this is the other one where I actually did it right. Let's see. Yeah, this is the other one where I did it right. And you'll see completed and you get the nitro. It's a bit of a finesse touch with the brake, and since I'm actually doing it with a gas pedal and steering wheel, it's a little harder. If you did it with a controller on the PS2, I'm sure it would be a little bit easier. But, you know, I did my best, so I don't feel too bad, and it's one of those things, it's not game-breaking. If you mess up on every one of those, you will still be able to, you know, finish the game. You just won't have as much money, which I don't know if it was all the continues that I did or something, because there's some times where I've continued a lot in fighting games and my time isn't counted, or my time is so high that I don't get a high score, but it didn't offer me one in this gameplay, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But, yeah, you could definitely tell with all the day-night cycles and the sun shining in your face and everything that this really does take good advantage of the Naomi 2 hardware, and it really does show off some better graphics. And you can see in this gameplay, I have somebody in my convoy. They're right behind me. That's why it says Convoy Combo 1. And I'd imagine if they were driving with me, they'd be like, "Hey dude, what are you doing? You're just like driving all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason as to what you're doing here." And they'd probably be really confused and probably just like leave the convoy and not end up hanging out with my trucker here. But yeah, I just made that one. Legitimately just made it. And since I had no time left, I had to continue, so my 37 seconds will go up to 45, because I think it's about like 2 or 3 seconds, sometimes as much as 5, that it adds when you continue. So I ended up getting quite a few of those bonuses because I continued so much, not because I was like so good at the game. The only thing Wikipedia has about this game is The King of Route 66 is an arcade game developed by Sega AM2 and distributed by Sega, released for arcades in 2002 to 2003, and ported to PlayStation 2 in 2003. It is a sequel to 18-Wheeler Pro American Trucker. And that's really all they have about it on their page. And then basically some review scores that it got, like, mixed reviews. Some people kind of liked it, some people thought it was kind of bad, and here is the final job, which, I ended up, having to continue way too many times, and I didn't realize the time was ticking down at that part. I was thinking, wait, why is it all on the screen where it's telling me I'm doing my final job? The time was ticking down, and here's our hitch your truck part, which I actually did too short, and I actually had to back up a little bit more, but thankfully I still got the bonus. But the worst part about this level is, since you're towing a Ferris wheel, it gets in the way a lot, and it's actually kind of hard to see. Yeah, I definitely have to say this one website where they're saying it came out for every game console might be wrong, because as far as I can see, this game only came out for PlayStation 2. As at the time, it was, I think it was one of the few consoles Sega was like developing games on for. They eventually made like Crazy Taxi for the GameCube, and of course Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller was on Chihiro and Xbox. The funny part is this stage actually tells you to go over the ramp that was the ending of the other stage. And I was thinking, oh wow, so I guess if you didn't realize the little shortcut there, you now know it, and we're probably like, oh well, I should have just done that. And now there's a bit of a shortcut here if you go straight up that hill, but it always seemed to slow me down because you're going uphill with a Mack truck, and how do I want to say it? It just tend to make me go a little bit slower, and it made me lose time, so I just avoided it on subsequent gameplays here, and it seemed to help a little bit. So it seems like in this game, not every shortcut is helpful, so you kind of have to be careful of that, because you could have a shortcut like in this stage that seems like it's a good help, but it doesn't really seem to help you. And I could remember there were so many times doing that shortcut, I got to this part, and I had like 10 seconds left, and I would lose right here. So that's another thing that ended up giving me so many continues, because I just like desperately needed more time. And it probably was from lack of time from previous tries that didn't carry over. But I was so glad that I was finally able to get here. I was like, oh good, I'm gonna finally finish this. But yeah, it was quite a decent challenge. And I think one of these days I'm gonna have to count all the continues I did, assuming like 50 cents or 25 cents per try, and I'll just put on the thing how many tries I did. And here's your ending.
Oh, oh no!
And now I was thinking for a minute there I was going to say like bad end or something, or tell me that I have to try again, but it looked like it was just like the screwball ending that he tripped and fell in the water and then he was just laughing. If you played this game and you had a different result, you could let me know, but yeah, that's all I get from that. It's just the funny ending, if you will. And all you see here is like these various trucks during the credits. They're just kind of spinning out on this big Route 66 logo, kind of showing off some of the game's physics. And as you can see, if you saw that in the credit, Yu Suzuki is the executive supervisor of this game, so he was involved, but he didn't necessarily make this game. But yeah, King of Route 66 is a fun game, played on either the arcade emulated or on your PlayStation 2. It's a good time, and I would recommend it. Different from other racing games, if you will. Well, this has been another Game Nexus arcade video, and I shall see you later. Bye.